Kevin Beasley, A View of a Landscape, is currently on exhibit at the Whitney Museum of American Art. Beasley, who was born in the South and whose work examines the history of slavery in the United States, incorporated works of art made with a range of materials including raw cotton. A functioning cotton gin motor is also part of this installation, and the sounds from this motor help supplement the audio portion of this exhibition.
I think for the work to be here in an institution, the most important aspect is that it allows it to be experienced and seen by a broader audience. This project comes from something very deep and personal for me, but I think that its most potent existence is when it's able to be seen and experienced by people from a wide range of backgrounds, and that the work can actually begin to speak to those things, and for people to be able to engage and carry on that conversation. And I think the Whitney is obviously an institution that fosters that kind of engagement. It's a lot more complicated to think about people's relationship to the history that continues to play itself out in social interactions and also in a political context. So I think that for me to engage in a subject matter that is really rooted in my background as a Black American is something that I find just natural. I think about the spaces that I'm in and that I occupy on a daily basis, and those spaces are ones that reveal that kind of history, that kind of social structure, and as an artist, it's how I process the world, is to take these experiences and physically realize them in the studio, whether it's bringing together certain materials that speak to those things, or to engage in certain spaces that also are willing to speak to these issues. It's rooted in education. It's rooted in actually being vulnerable. I think when you feel like you really understand your own experience growing up, and you weren't given certain kinds of information, or you weren't open, or your context wasn't open to really understanding the history as it is, then those become, it becomes a challenge for everyone to actually deal with those when you get older. It's something that you're kind of looking back and you're like, am I living a lie? And I feel like it's not just white Americans, it's also Black Americans. It's the entire landscape that has to reconcile this history. We all have different angles, and we all have different approaches to it. And I think that the work that I'm trying to do is to say, let's take a look at this. Let's actually look at how it's affecting our lives now, looking to the past, and sort of thinking about all of that as one active body.